Today, time listens to what you say, and unlike other days, it records. Mercury unites with Saturn, and sound transforms into stone. The word becomes law, thought turns into foundation. Everything that is said under this sky is not lost. It is registered in the invisible corridors of destiny. Therefore, this is not a day for talking for the sake of talking. It is the day the universe measures the weight of your voice. Every sentence you utter today has form, has consequence, has an echo. The word ceases to be light. It becomes a contract. And every spiritual contract is, first and foremost, a pact with the truth. Today, the cosmos asks that you speak less and declare more. Do not promise, affirm. Do not imagine, determine. Sound creates form, and Saturn signs. This is the moment to seal what is already decided within you, not out of vanity, but out of coherence. Time does not bow to vague intentions, it responds to firm vows. And if this message reaches you, write in the comments now, what I say, I fulfill. Because whoever honors their own word masters their own destiny. And today, the entire universe is listening. There are words that die in the air, and there are words that cross the centuries. Today, only the latter matter. The meeting between Mercury and Saturn does not speak of communication. It speaks of permanence. What is said under this transit is not wind. It is foundation. Time, silent, observes every syllable and transforms sound into form, intention into structure. This is the most ancient power in the universe, the word that creates. Before matter, there was sound. Before form, there was the word. And every time you speak with truth, you repeat the divine gesture of creation. But Saturn, guardian of the cosmic law, does not accept empty words. He is not impressed by speeches. He recognizes coherence. What is said without roots does not flourish. What is said with truth becomes destiny. That is why this day has weight. It is not about what you want to say, but about what time can sustain. Every word not born from purpose dissolves, but the word aligned with the soul echoes until the end of cycles. Think of how many times you said, "This is it," and nothing happened. It wasn't for lack of faith, but for lack of a pact. Today, Mercury and Saturn give you back the opportunity to make an internal vow, real, unchanging. It is the moment to choose which truths deserve a voice. The mind speaks from impulse, the soul speaks from destiny. And today, the soul is the one holding the microphone. Each declaration, made with consciousness, is like a spiritual anchor. It binds the invisible to reality. Feel the gravity of this instant. Everything said with firmness will be remembered. What is said out of fear will be forgotten. The universe does not record noise. It records frequency. Mercury, the messenger, stands before the throne of Saturn, the architect of time. And between them is a sacred tribunal, that of the spoken truth. With every word spoken, a signature is made. Nothing is rhetorical anymore. Everything is a document. Therefore, this is a day to speak less and mean more, so that every word spoken has the weight of a stone and the lightness of a certainty. Because time is not the enemy. It is the scribe who writes what you declare. Today, the word and time meet, and everything that is pronounced with soul will leave a mark on reality. The universe is not asking for speeches. It is asking for decrees. Decree what you are. Affirm what you came to fulfill. Because what is said today is not lost. And if you doubt the power of the word, remember, everything that brought you here was said by someone at some time. A promise, a blessing, an order, an intuition. Nothing is born in absolute silence. It is born in the word. And that is why Saturn honors those who speak with purpose, because the word is the beginning of all construction. Today, When the sky unites the messenger and the master, you are called to be the author of your own reality. The words you repeat, those you use against yourself, those you defend or silence, they all become the invisible bricks of your destiny. Choose them with respect, not with fear. Speak less, but speak like one who builds temples, because time at this moment is listening with divine attention, and it only records what is true. Not all sound is heard, but the universe never stops listening. There are noises the wind carries away, and there are vibrations that time archives. Today, under the trine between Mercury and Saturn, every sound that leaves your mouth is weighed, measured, and registered as spiritual matter. Sound is the signature of the soul. It carries the code of what you believe, even when you try to disguise it. And Saturn, Lord of time and consequences, does not listen to what you say. He listens to how you say it. Vibration is the language the cosmos understands. Therefore, on this day, even the tone of voice matters, not because the universe is punitive, but because it is exact. Everything you pronounce today is converted into invisible architecture. Words become walls, sounds, foundations, and the energy behind each syllable defines the kind of spiritual house you are building. When sound is born from fear, it creates walls. When it is born from faith, it opens portals. Today, sound is a choice between imprisoning or liberating. How many times have you repeated phrases like, "Nothing ever works out for me," or "I can't"? These declarations were not just vents. They were unconscious decrees. Time does not judge intention. It responds to vibration. And the vibration of these words built narrow paths, full of obstacles that you yourself named. Now, the sky gives you the power to reverse this. The trine between Mercury and Saturn reopens the tribunal of the word, and you can review what was said. Today, it is possible to cancel old decrees and establish new ones. But for this, the sound must change its origin. No longer the sound of fear, but the sound of dominion. To master one's own voice is to master reality. It is to understand that the word is the most sacred tool a human being possesses, and that using it with consciousness is a spiritual act of power. Today, the vibration of your voice is stronger than any ritual. Close your eyes for an instant and listen to the sound of your mind. Notice how it speaks, how it names things. Is it building or destroying? Is it strengthening or draining? The universe captures these frequencies even before you open your mouth. Mercury is awake and Saturn is attentive. Both observe what vibrates within you and what echoes outward, and the judgment of sound is simple. Everything born in truth will be multiplied. Everything born in falsehood will be undone. Therefore, today the advice is not to be silent. It is to choose the right sound. Use your voice to affirm what already exists on the divine plane, not to reinforce illusions. Say only what you wish to see grow. Because Saturn, the master of time, denies nothing. He only solidifies what you declare. If you say you are small, he makes it reality. If you say you are worthy, he also confirms it. Time does not create, it confirms. And Mercury is the intermediary who carries the message to him. So on this day, speak as one who knows they are before a cosmic table. Every sentence is a signature. Every breath is a seal. And, in the end, what is said with integrity will be kept as law. Sound is the first judgment. And today, the universe asks that your voice be a sentence, not noise. There is a sacred instant between what you think and what the universe registers. It is there that the invisible contract is born, the silent pact between the word and destiny. Under the trine between Mercury and Saturn, this contract becomes clearer, stronger, more demanding. There are no complex rituals, no candles or symbols. The only altar is your word, and the only document is your intention. When you speak, the universe doesn't hear the sound. It reads the agreement. Each sentence is a clause. Each affirmation is a commitment. And Saturn, as the guardian of the cosmic justice, simply asks, are you ready to sustain what you just said? Most people promise more than they can handle. They say, I will change, I will start, I will let go. But Saturn does not recognize conditional futures. He works with the now, with what has already been said as fact. Therefore, on this day, precision is not a detail, it is destiny. Mercury, the scribe of the gods, transcribes everything, every pronounced thought, every word that crosses the energetic field, transforms into stored vibration. And when Saturn receives this record, he gives it form. Time begins to organize the circumstances that will give body to what you affirmed. This is how reality is created, through invisible commitments to one's own truth. This contract is silent, but it exists. When you say something with conviction, reality moves to verify if what you said is sustainable, not as punishment, but for coherence. The universe tests the words to see if they can bear the weight of action, and what cannot, breaks. That is why, when you promise too much, time responds with delay. But when you speak little and fulfill much, time accelerates. Saturn is not slow, he is precise. And under this trine, he observes you with the gaze of a master, one who only teaches those who want to learn. Today, the invisible contract is renewed. It asks for less talk and more firmness, less emotion and more vibrational consistency. The universe doesn't want to hear what you desire. It wants to feel what you are truly willing to live. Sound is the seed. Commitment is the soil. And when both are aligned, the fruit is inevitable. But if the sound is pure and the soil is empty, the promise is lost. Saturn comes to correct this. He returns weight to words and purpose to the word. Pay attention to what you have been saying in recent days. Has what you've been repeating become reality? Does what you silenced still hold you accountable? These are the clauses of your spiritual contract. You can edit them, but you cannot ignore them. Because omission is also a signature. Today, the cosmos asks you to reread what you have been declaring. Perhaps you are signing contracts without realizing it. I will never trust again. No one understands me. This is too hard. Each of these sentences creates an invisible line between you and reality. And time, obediently, complies. But Saturn is also just. If you decide now to declare something new, something worthy, solid, aligned, he will recognize it. From this moment on, the contract is remade, and the entire universe adjusts its gears to honor the new agreement. Speak as one who understands the power they carry. Affirm as one who knows their own voice shapes tomorrow. To say, I will try, is a weak clause. To say, I already am, is an eternal clause. And Mercury the scribe records this in the book of time. This is the day to write your new destiny with firm words. You don't need to announce it to the world. Just declare it to the infinite. Because the infinite responds to those who speak with truth. Saturn is not the god of punishment. He is the god of form. And what you say today, he will transform into structure. Therefore, speak with care, because this contract is invisible, but absolutely real. There is a voice inside you that was not taught, only remembered. It does not speak loudly, but when it awakens, the entire universe bends to listen. This is the sacred voice, the original sound that precedes all fears, all doubts, all roles. Today, Mercury and Saturn join forces to restore this voice. It is the return of the pure word, before censorship, before strategy. The word that does not need to be understood, only recognized. For a long time, you may have used your voice to defend yourself, to justify yourself, or to adapt. But there is a point when the voice ceases to be a tool of survival and becomes a divine channel. That point is now. Feel the weight of the silence that precedes the true word. It is not hesitation, it is reverence. The soul knows when it is about to pronounce something that will change everything. And today, every sound emitted carries the energy of a decree. The return of the sacred voice is the return of creative power to its source. It is not about speaking beautifully or speaking correctly. It is about speaking with vibrational truth. The universe does not respond to grammar. It responds to frequency. And when you speak from the center of your soul, the dimensions move. Saturn, as the judge of time, listens and records. Mercury, as the messenger, carries the sound to where the visible cannot yet reach. And it is in this circuit between heaven and earth that the word becomes flesh. That which was only intention now gains form. That which was a dream begins to manifest. Therefore, do not underestimate the power of a simple affirmation. I am ready. I am worthy. I deserve what is mine by right. These are not motivational phrases. They are spiritual commands. And under this sky, each one of them is heard as a decree. The sacred voice does not negotiate with fear. It speaks from what is already eternal. Even when the world doubts, it remains firm, because it recognizes its own origin. It does not try to convince, it confirms. There is immense power in saying little and saying it right, in using sound as one who holds a sword, not to wound, but to separate the illusory from the true. Each word becomes a cut of light, clearing the space where the new must be born. Do you know why so many ancient prayers are repeated aloud? Because sound is a bridge. It crosses dimensions and makes the invisible become audible. Today, your personal sound is that bridge, and what you choose to say will cross time. This is the moment to reclaim the original tone of your soul, the one that never asked for permission to exist. When you speak from that place, life reorganizes everything around you to reflect what was declared. Circumstances change. People move. The path aligns. Everything responds to the voice that has finally returned to recognize its own truth. Mercury does not ask you to speak much. It asks you to speak right. Saturn does not demand grandeur. It demands coherence. And when both are in harmony, the sound of your voice becomes the sound of the universe itself, breathing. Today, the word is sacred again, and the voice that comes from you does not belong only to your mouth. It belongs to creation. Use it with consciousness. Declare what is eternal, and the ephemeral will disappear. Affirm what is light, and what is shadow will dissolve. Speak what is truth, and time will prove you right. Because time is only slow for those who speak without knowing what they are saying. But for those who speak with soul, time obeys. There is an instant when everything that was said needs to be confirmed. That instant is now. When Mercury meets Saturn, time asks for a signature, the seal that transforms a promise into reality. It is no longer about speaking, it is about sealing. The seal of truth is the final point that consecrates the word and gives form to the invisible. Saturn, as the guardian of time, does not operate in chaos. He demands order, coherence, and the courage to sustain what was said. It is the moment when the universe asks, are you willing to live everything you have declared? Because the true word demands presence. It tolerates neither absence nor contradiction. The seal of truth is the instant when vibration meets form. Everything you have pronounced with faith now begins to manifest, not as a miracle, but as a natural consequence of coherence. Time does not create from nothing, it makes concrete what was already affirmed in the spirit. It is here that the word transforms into destiny. What was said lightly, the wind carries away. What was said with truth, time keeps. Saturn records, Mercury confirms, and the universe acts. Think about the truths you have felt, but never had the courage to declare. How many times did you remain silent so as not to displease? How many times did you omit what you knew was real, just to maintain the appearance of peace? These silences are cracks in the soul's contract. And today, the seal of truth comes to restore what was broken. Truth does not seek approval. It seeks an echo. And under this sky, the echo is inevitable. Everything you say in the name of authenticity will find resonance. Everything said to maintain illusions will be erased. The universe at this moment works only with genuine material. The seal of truth is the moment you stop explaining and start existing, when words cease to be defenses and become declarations, when fear falls silent and the inner voice takes command. When Saturn and Mercury unite, reality reorganizes itself to align with what is true. Therefore, this transit is a kind of sacred judgment. What is a lie collapses. What is truth prospers. It is a natural cleansing of the word, a filtration of sound, and what remains is pure, unbreakable, and eternal. Today, you can seal your own truth, not with shouts, but with conviction, not with ritual, but with presence. Simply say, "This is me," without explanation, without doubt, without fear, because truth needs no argument. It sustains itself. And when you do this, something changes in the field. Time stops testing you and starts serving you. The right doors open, the wrong ones close. External voices lose their importance because your truth becomes the new center of gravity for your life. This is the seal of truth, the instant when reality recognizes who you are and begins to treat you accordingly. Therefore, today promise nothing, just declare what already is. Do not seek proof, be the proof. Do not look for answers, become the answer. The seal of truth is silent, but its echo is eternal. And when it is placed, time bows before coherence, because nothing is more powerful than a true word spoken at the right moment. And that moment is now. There is a moment when the universe stops listening to your words and starts observing your conduct. That moment is now. Mercury and Saturn did not come just to teach you about communication. They came to seal an eternal commitment between what you say and what you do. Because in the end, every spiritual journey boils down to this: aligning word and gesture, intention and execution, faith and practice. The word without action is wind. Action without the word is noise. But when both unite, the cosmos recognizes the coherence and responds with precision. The eternal commitment begins when you understand that what you speak is not just sound, it is an oath, and that time, upon hearing it, does not forget. Saturn is the chronicler of destiny. He does not punish, but he records. And what he writes, he collects. Not out of vengeance, but out of vibrational justice. During this trine, the universe is not testing your faith, but your commitment. It is the day when words need to leave the plane of the ideal and enter the flesh of the real. It is when the spiritual descends to earth, not in the form of a miracle, but of responsibility. Every promise made to yourself is a seed planted in the soil of time. Some germinate quickly, others take years, but none are forgotten. Time does not destroy what is true. It only filters out what never was. And this is the most mature point of Saturn's wisdom. He doesn't want your effort. He wants your constancy. The eternal commitment does not demand perfection. It demands presence. It doesn't ask that you never fall, only that you never give up on what you have already recognized as truth. Today, Mercury asks you to reaffirm your vows before the cosmos, not with grand speeches, but with a simple, internal, non-negotiable sentence. It could be an "I remain firm," or an "I fulfill what I say." These words are not promises, they are energetic contracts. Saturn observes who fulfills what they say. And the universe, by resonance, only multiplies what it finds in coherence. Therefore, the more aligned your word, the faster the results come, not by magic, but by sacred physics. Everything you say is a frequency, everything you do is a confirmation, and the distance between the two is the size of your manifestation. Today, that space needs to be zeroed out. It is the moment to close the gaps between discourse and reality, to stop saying, "One day I will," and start living as one who already is, to replace waiting with action, to transform every intention into a sacred gesture. Saturn honors those who honor time, and time favors those who fulfill what they say. This is the silent law of the cosmos. It is not about rigidity, but about reverence. Because when you do what you say, creation recognizes you as a co-author. You stop being a spectator and become a participant. And the universe, which once tested you, begins to collaborate. This is true power. Not controlling the future, but becoming worthy of it. And this only happens when every word spoken begins to have weight, when every yes is accompanied by action, and every no comes with peace. The eternal commitment is not with success, it is with integrity, because success is a consequence of coherence, and coherence is the altar where spirit and matter meet. If today there is something you still promise without fulfilling, this is the day to end that cycle, not with guilt, but with dignity. Admit it, end it, and restart with clarity. Saturn does not demand perfection, but he demands authenticity. And Mercury, with his gift of recording, will carry this new vibration directly to the field of the real. You don't need to prove anything to anyone, only to time. And time always recognizes who is true. Today, the words that leave your mouth will have spiritual weight. So use them as one holding an ancient key, capable of opening or closing portals. Speak what is eternal, and the ephemeral will dissolve. Speak what is just, and cosmic justice will begin to operate. Speak what is real, and the false will lose its strength. This is the final seal of the trine, the eternal commitment between word and action. Everything you declare will be tested, not to punish you, but to prove you worthy of what you asked for. And if it is true, nothing can stop you. Because Saturn does not reward discourse, he rewards the act. And Mercury, the faithful messenger, will ensure that every sentence spoken today finds its perfect reflection in reality. Today, the sky observed what you said, and time recorded it. Every sentence pronounced under this transit of Mercury and Saturn is a vibrational pact, a contract between what you believe and what you are truly willing to sustain. Nothing changes without commitment, and commitment is not born from emotion, but from decision. If your word is law within you, the universe will have no choice but to obey. Therefore, I want to feel who truly understood what this day means. Go to the comments now and write, "What I say, I fulfill." This sentence is more than a comment. It is a spiritual signature. It represents the fusion between what you say and what you do, between sound and time, between the human and the divine. If you felt this call, like the video and subscribe to the channel, because true spiritual construction does not happen in silence. It happens in community, and we are building this together, one true word at a time.